What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Got a little bourbon review today. Little afternoon review today. So, Rocktown Bourbon, with a slight little twist. It took a little trip all the way to Kentucky to get distilled in the column still. That's what we got today, guys. Check it out. Rocktown whiskey, guys, coming out of Little Rock, Arkansas. So, really good wheated mash bill bourbon. So, classic Rocktown. This one happens to be the Column Still series. So, what they did, they're innovators with whiskey. Like, Rocktown's been around for a little bit. Even though they are a craft distillery, they've been around for a little bit. But they're taking Arkansas corn, Arkansas wheat, and barley, their normal mash bill, which is 79% corn, 13% Arkansas wheat, and then 8% barley. They're taking it over to the Bardstown Company in Bardstown, Kentucky, distilling it in a column still, and then bringing it back to Arkansas to age it. It's a fairly younger whiskey, but with the heat in Arkansas, it's similar to kind of like Louisiana and Texas and, you know, lower southern states where you have that heat. You won't age it for that long. So this one happens to be at least aged 35 months. So aged 35 months, it's 57.5% alcohol by volume. So that's not too bad on the alcohol content. They have a French oaked bourbon. I'm not sure what the proof is on that, but there's 3 different bourbons in their column still. It's the Cask strength, they have a small batch, and they have a French oaked toasted French oak. I haven't got a chance to try the toasted French oak or the small batch yet, but we got into this column still a little bit. We've been putting it through the paces. You know what I'm saying? They normally age their whiskey. They don't normally distill their whiskey with a pot still. So with a pot still, it picks up a lot of different flavors. My personal opinion, being a Scotch guy, that pot still is going to give you a lot of flavors. But bourbon is traditionally made in a column still. So I think they wanted to, being the innovators that they are over there at Rocktown, they wanted to try and see what flavors that a column still would pick up, as opposed to distilling their whiskey in a pot still. So, but color on it is very nice, dark bourbon color on there. The nose, very characteristic of a wheated bourbon. In my mind, it's similar to Maker's, but it doesn't have the bready note that Maker's has. First thing I get is burnt sugar, burnt brown sugar. You get a caramel. There's a lot of oak, but it's not that that bitter oak sometimes you get from bourbon. It's a very clean nose. It's not a whole lot of rough edges on it, even for the Cask strength, which sometimes produces a lot of coarseness to it, I guess, roughness to it, but it's coming off in the nose pretty clean. A little vanilla, but mostly those burnt brown sugars and caramel. Not a whole lot on the nose. It's a simple kind of experience as far as the nosing experience, but you can tell it's Cask strength, but the alcohol vapors don't hit you. Like, you could really get in there. It's not off-putting, you know? Let's get into the flavor, guys. Cheers. Damn, that's good stuff. So, right whenever you taste it, the burnt brown sugar caramel comes out. It's strong. It's heavy. Oak is pretty heavy wooded. Oak comes out towards the end. But once that oak comes, it sweetens up a little bit, which is weird. A lot of bourbons don't do that. where after you taste it, it does get a little sweeter at the end. I don't know. It's weird. It's most of the time, maybe it's the mash bill. So a lot of rye mash bill bourbons, I get heavy spice and oak at the end, and they both kind of they coincide with each other. They both hit at the end, and they carry on. With this one, you get the oak, but then it gets sweeter. It's weird. Let's get another taste on it, guys. Man, that's good stuff. So burnt caramel brown sugar. Oak comes in mid palate, and then almost like a vanilla custard kind of sweetness. As it's still finishing, by the way. It's a long lingering finish on this whiskey. Long lingering finish, vanilla custard with I like coconut shavings actually. They come out towards the end of the finish, which is it's unique for the bourbon actually. It does have like a classic kind of bourbon taste to it, but it does hold its own to where it does have uniqueness. It's not like it doesn't taste like every single bourbon you can actually taste on the market. I mean, I find Kentucky bourbons have that good classic flavor. Usually when I want a bourbon, I want that Kentucky bourbon, but I don't know. It's Rocktown. It holds its own. It really does, and I'm interested in trying out the French oak and the small batch. Price point on this comes in right at $60. I want to say, I'm not sure how much the small batch and the French oak was. Matter of fact, I want to say the French oak's a toasted French oak, and I want to say it's a little bit more expensive than this one. So if this one came in around 60, I think the French oak's around 65-ish. But great bourbon for the price, actually. I like to see them do a few other things with the Column Still stuff. Like, they do in the Column Still collection. I'd like to carry that on. Like, I love that. Like, I've had a lot of Rocktown. Like, being a single malt guy, they have a Rocktown single malt, which I didn't do a review on. It was good, but let's face it, like, it's not, for me, it's not going to touch the Scotch. Like, I got tired of it pretty quick. Like, mid-bottle, it's okay. La Harpe, I had a bottle of that. It's a low rye Rocktown, but I think their bread and butter is the wheated mash bill, because that low rye mash bill was, being youthful, being a younger whiskey, the rye was harsh on it. But it is great for this wheated bourbon, actually. Even coming in at, like I said, man, 35 months. It's a good whiskey for that age on it. You're looking at touching 3 years, maybe a little less than 3 years. Great bourbon for the age, though. It's good. But that's it from Rocktown. Actually, they have a peated bourbon also. They do a lot of stuff. They have a peach finished bourbon, peach brandy barrel finished bourbon. There's the peated bourbon. It's made with peated malted barley, actually. But they do a lot of different stuff. But I'm glad to see them do this Column Still. Like, this was a good idea from the head distiller over there. To see him do some good stuff. But Whiskey Couyons score on this, man, it's unique. It really is. I wanted to give it, I even thought about 7.75, touching the 8s, but man, it's pretty good. I'd say 7.75. 750, 7.75. We're gonna go 7.75 today. Today it hit a little bit better than it did before. Actually, it's got a uniqueness to it that I like. The coconut shavings came out of nowhere on that flavor. Like, you usually don't get that on a whole lot of bourbons. I've got it on some Scotch before, but not too many bourbons I've had coconut shavings on like this vanilla custard kind of sweetness towards the end of the whiskey, which is weird. Good stuff though. That's it, guys. thank you for watching our channel. Yeah, if you like what we're doing, if you want to support the channel, just hit that like button, subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next video.